Hey everybody, welcome to Upstairs to the Right Music. I'm your host, Mike McWilliams. On today's show, I thought that I would talk about a topic that there's a lot of confusion out there on the internets about, and that's how to build an ampless pedal board. Well, back in the day when I was a wee lad working as a assistant engineer in studios in Los Angeles, when I was tasked to record an amplifier, there was two ways that I could do it. The first way, of course, was the common way of using something like an SM57 like this here to mic the amp. The second way of doing it was using what I have here on top of my Laney is a load box. The signal from the amp goes into the load box, and then from the load box that signal goes out to wherever you need it to go to. Now these were my only options. Fast forward to today. Wow, what a significant change. The world is just your oyster when it comes to that signal path. Here, for example, I have the Electro Harmonix 5mm. This is a 2.5 watt power amp in the size of a pedal. And this is the lightest pedal I've ever had. This thing is as light as a feather. And it is a fantastic way of taking that preamp signal, going to here, and then going out to wherever you need that signal to go to. But you also still need a load box when you operate a pedal like this. So, is it possible in order to build a pedal board that doesn't need a power amp section? The answer is absolutely, positively yes. The key to it is your output. What do I mean by that? Well, let's go into my studio room and I'll show you what I mean. So let's take a look at the pedal board here that I use for my recording in the studio. It is an ampless pedal board. It's all based on preamps, and it's got a really fantastic sound. One of the things that I really enjoy about it, of course, is the ease of use. Lugging amps or amp heads and setting up the attenuator box, the load box for them. All the things that are involved in that when I'm in the middle of recording is something that I don't want to do. It's something that I want to be dealing with. I have a creative flow going and it gets in the way of that. What I found with setting up this kind of system for recording, analog system recording my guitar, being able to have the flexibility when I'm recording on the fly to be able to just change the sound of that preamp section. If I want to go from a Marshall sound, if I want to go to a Sedano sound or whatever, I can do it very quickly and get back to what I'm doing. I also like the fact that if I stop recording today and I go back to tomorrow, everything tonally is exactly the same. If I take it, the rig that I built here on stage, the same thing, the tones will be the same as the ones that I've recorded. So the consistency of it is fantastic as well. So a lot of benefits to it, enough talking about it. Let's take a look at it and see exactly how it works. Okay, so enough talking theoretically. Let's look into practically how I was able to put together my ampless pedal board. So everything first goes through this tuner here. This is a true bypass tuner. I highly recommend always having a tuner of some kind, even in between takes, because you can go out of tune. So a very important thing to have. That signal then feeds directly into this pedal, the Marshall Blues Breaker, a pedal that needs no introduction. This pedal basically has a JTM 45 sound to it. So also because of the special uplift it does in the mids, it's also not discussed, but it's a great JTM 45 sound. So for the light overdrive that I use, I don't use a high gain, I use low gain. It's a perfect match to go along with this pedal right next to it. I'm very fortunate to own this pedal. This is a pedal that was handmade by Makoto Kawai of AYA Pedals in Tokyo. They've been in business for 30 years. He's been in business for 30 years hand making pedals. Tim Pierce, LA session guy and fellow YouTuber, he also owns the Drive Vista that Makoto built. On a trip to Tokyo once, I was very fortunate to be able to pick this pedal up. It is Makoto's Tube Screamer clone, but this is to a Tube Screamer what basically a Viagra is to a Tic Tac. This thing is really supercharged. It's got a switchable, a high-low cut filter built into it, but really I keep the gain on it down almost to zero and the volume at around 3 o'clock. And this, much like the Blues Breaker, this pedal really has a beautiful colorization it does to you. It brings a sparkle to your tone, unlike any other pedal that I've ever had. So I'm very lucky to have this. This was actually a prototype that he made. I don't know why he didn't continue to make these. These are brilliant pedals. Next time I go to Tokyo, maybe we'll go to his office and have a discussion with him about the possibility of trying to put this out, because this is a wonderful, as of right now, one of a kind, but it is a great Tube Screamer type. These two pedals together give me all the low gain that I like to use, old classic rock type gain. These two pedals, between the two of them, they really do the trick. So next up is a pedal that doesn't need any introduction. It's on the pedal boards of many people. A lot of guys out there in YouTube land, you might have one of these as well. It is the Joyo brand. In this case, it's Harley Benton branded, but they're the same pedals. The Joyo California. The California is part of a series that were based on the Tech 21 New York pedals. They are a note-for-note clone of the Tech 21 pedals, so if you have the Tech 21, great, but if you don't want to spend that kind of money, buy whatever the equivalent is with the Joyo series, and it is the exact same thing. No question, a great pedal. This is a copy of a Mesa Boogie. When I need a little bit more gain to kick in, this is the one that I use. Also, because it has a great EQ on it, I can fine-tune my EQing as well. So it is a fantastic pedal to put at the end of my preamp chain. That all feeds into this Mooer, which is a Mooer silencer, basically a noise gate, because the Blues Breaker and the California at some gains can get very noisy with that thing. It's as clean as a whistle. That then feeds into another Mooer pedal. This is the Mooer Shimverb. I use this for the Springverb when I want to color something. If I'm just practicing, I want a little bit of reverb, then I use this. It's not something that I have on all the time. These two pedals are on all the time. But the reverb is something that's nice. I wanted to put in my pedal board amp. All that feeds into this, which is the Joyo Cab Zeus. This is a cab IR simulator, so basically you have a variety of different speakers that you can use. In this case, I've got it set to a Vintage 30 12-inch open back. You can change the distance of the microphone. You can change the location to left or right of the microphone. A lot of things that you can do with this to really nail in a great tone. So one of the great things about having a pedal-based amp is the versatility of being able to switch out. As I said before, when you use a load box on a Marshall amp, you're going to get a Marshall tone. You're not going to get a Fender sound out of a Marshall amp, regardless of what you do. But with a pedal-based, ampless system like this, I can easily swap out these preamps. So for example, with the blues breaker, I can swap that out with this clone, which is a fantastic copy of a clone. To be frank with you, I just don't see the need to have anything else, even the original. I can swap out the California sound with this Legend Amps AMT, which is a Sedano amp. So there's a great deal of versatility that I can do here to change up my sounds, and I can do it very quickly. I don't have to worry about rewiring or repositioning the microphone. I don't have to worry about the way that it's set. I can start a solo, get tired, next morning wake up, plug in, and everything sonically is going to be identical. I don't have to worry about the microphone moving if I was recording that way. I don't have to worry about a lot of the amp being cold or warm or some of the variables that can change your tone. With this right here, the versatility, the ease of use, and just basically just the peace of mind that it gives me, because amps can break down on you, tubes can be blown. This pedal module system, if something breaks down, it can be swapped out and replaced. So that is one of the great advantages that I feel that I have having a pedal based amp as opposed to having multiple amp heads. Now I do have a few amp heads here in the studio that I do have the option of recording with, again using that attenuator, that load box, but just frankly speaking, for quick use and for just ease in the middle of recording, this is so much easier for me. Now, as it stands, this is a very expensive board. These pedals, these 3 pedals alone, the Cab Zeus, and these 2 are about $1,000 you're looking at. So there is that. However, this can be done very cheaply. You can swap out using mini pedals that will do the same things as any one of these for a very small fraction of the cost, and you can achieve the same effect. So the price is really up to you. You can do this as cheaply as possible or as expensively as possible. It really comes down to you and what your budget dictates, and that's a wonderful thing about it as well. You can add to it as you go along. As you have better equipment, as you make more money, or you flip something and something else comes in, that makes this a lot easier to deal with than amps. So there you have it. That's my ampless pedal rig. I hope that it cleared up a lot of the confusion out there as to how to build a rig like this. It's actually very simple once you understand the concept of how to build one. I hope that it added a little bit of clarity to you out there who are curious about how to do something like this. Until the next show, you guys take care, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.